So I haven't done a responding to comments in a while, and they're kind of fun to do, even though I know people don't like them that much, because who wants to watch me listen to comments? But I want to do it just to force me to kind of go through and acknowledge each comment, because there's been so many that I admit this is the first video ever where I really haven't read all of the comments. So I think I'm going to do that. And I will say, first off, this is like, it kind of bugs me that this is the most popular video on my channel now, because of all the videos, like I put in so much effort into all these, and then I do this one where I admit I kind of slacked off a little bit, and even didn't really do my thorough research. I looked at one article and I figured, okay, they have no reason to lie or get anything wrong, so I'll trust it, and they were wrong. So so I want to clarify that up here front and center. I do say will debate. I think it kind of will be a debate, because let's be honest, they disagree on so much that I think it will eventually be a debate. But it is true that it is more of an interview format, that it's going to be Ben Shapiro's Sunday special, as so many people pointed out in the comment section, which is more of an interview format. So that I do want to clarify that. But let's go through the comments, because there's a lot of them. I think the thing actually said 198 comments. I think that includes the replies. I'm not going to go through the replies. I just want to go through the comments. So this was on, for background, this was on, the original story was they're going to debate over circumcision, and it's like more fake news. Actually, it was not. It's not going to be circumcision. It could be all kinds of things, and for some reason they just picked that one, which is rather interesting. Or at least when they reported on it, they picked that one, for example. First comment, I'm Jewish and I hate that I was circumcised as genital mutilation. Now, some people got a little bit upset when I pointed out, like, it's not that important. It's not that, it's a topic that doesn't really get discussed that much. It's not something that people really feel, like, it's not a mainstream topic. I didn't mean to put that down and say it's unimportant. It's not unimportant. It's, like, it's a topic that I actually think is valuable. Personally, like, it's not something I really think about much, but generally I am against it. Like, generally, I am against the whole, like, forced circumcision thing. I'm against, like, if I'm against it for women, then I have to be also against it for men. From what I've learned, when I looked into it once, I listened to a few conversations on, I think it was Molyneux's channel, of all people, actually, and he went through, yeah, like, there was actually a surprising number of botched circumcisions, and that's got to mess up someone's life. And on top of that, there really isn't any benefit. The only real benefit is hygiene, and again, it's like, I mean, if you're living in really poor living standards, then sure, like, maybe there is a hygiene benefit to it, but it's just like, don't be unhygienic and you'll be fine. Like, it's kind of like, oh, believe it or not, like, feet can be unhygienic, but we don't cut them off. It's more just, yeah, like, it can be unhygienic, but that's if you don't take care of yourself. So take care of yourself and you'll be fine. And I do like the fact that Yang pointed that out. It's like, yeah, we should make it clear. At least should clear up a lot of the misconceptions behind that. That, believe it or not, of all the topics, of all the topics, this thing has got a lot of misinformation. A lot of the doctors believed, like, they recommended all kinds of stuff, saying, like, oh, there's all these benefits, and we're learning one by one that it's not true. Like, actually, there really aren't any justifiable benefits to it, as I've seen. But yeah, I agree with him overall. Like, sure, it's it is by definition, like, male genital mutilation. So yeah, I'm not for it. Don't let it just be a conversation. Donate for Andrew Yang 2020. There's going to be a lot of these. Just like, donate to Andrew Yang. I have to give it to Yang. The dude has balls compared to other candidates. I met him about a week ago, and I was surprised at how open he was to getting his ideas challenged and how many times Fox News had him on. Although he might not be polling the best right now, I think he has a lot of potential. And yeah, I do think he has a lot of potential, because as we've seen, like, my most popular video is about him, or at least features him in some way. And I think that says a lot. Like, I've done 2 videos that mentioned him. Like, the first one got 500 views. So I think that shows he has a lot of, like, there's a lot of backing there. And I honestly, like, I can't emphasize this enough. I don't want him to win. I don't think he's going to be a good candidate. I don't think UBI will work. Like, I've read through it. It does not work. It's not a good plan. UBI will not fix anything, and for that reason, I'm totally opposed to that. But then when I have to think, like, who do I want to be the 2020 nominee for the Democratic Party, I gotta say probably Tulsi. But I think Yang would probably come in second, just because at the very least, like, even though I don't like Yang, he's still probably the second best, or maybe the best out of all the Democratic candidates, and I'm just not a fan of any of the other Democratic candidates. So I will not be supporting him, but at the same time, I'm not upset if my videos give him a little bit of an extra boost or something. I'm not upset by really all the if he gets enough support to be in the debates and that. And actually, I heard he did get enough support to be in the debates. So in the end, it's like, I don't want him to win, But again, he is the least objectionable to me of all the Democratic candidates, so I kind of want to, at the very least, hope that he kind of takes off. And even though I probably will in the end still support Trump, but it's a long time from now to 2019 or to 2020, so who knows what will happen. Yang Gang is organic. Nobody is paying me to watch Andrew's videos and look for new videos on YouTube constantly. I'm just obsessed with watching the campaign grow. Lol. I did point out, like, I don't know if it's organic or not, and I think people forget to point out that you can have like bots, you can have organic, or you can have like a push to incentivize a hashtag. You can have bots pushing a hashtag, and I did see someone point out that, like, hey, apparently this might be the case, but there is a lot of support for Yang. Like, that's the thing. I think even if Yang somehow is pushing the hashtag to be more popular than it actually is, I do think at least part of it, and at least probably a majority of it, is organic. So I'm not trying to like say, oh, it's all fake, it's all bots. It's not. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone commenting here is organic. Or at least there are ones that are bots, and you can tell they're bots, and it's not just Yang Gang, it's pretty much everyone. Like, if you've been on Twitter at all, you can tell which ones are bots and which ones are not. Same thing with Gab. I think Gab does a better job at blocking bots, but you can see it when you can see the bots. Like, you can tell how they behave, I think, or at least I know how to tell what's a bot and not. And as far as I can tell, the vast majority of these comments are not bots. So when I say, like, I don't know if it's organic or not, it does seem to be mostly organic, or if not entirely organic. I will say that. Stop sacrificing our foreskins to the volcano demon. Another good comment. Ben Shapiro is a huge audience. Andrew Yang would love to hit that audience. And yes, that is exactly my point. More that I think, that was my point with the whole video. More that, yeah, like, Andrew Yang is trying to get out here. You see, he's on Joe Rogan. Now he's going to be on Ben Shapiro. Like, this is who he wants to be. This is a good move, I think. Just from, like, a political campaign perspective, this is a good... I just realized that the comment above has Barron Trump as the picture. But yeah, this is something, like, I gotta, even though I've said this, like, what, in my first two videos, now I'm doing a third one, I do want to point that out, that even though I don't like Andrew Yang, I am fascinated by his campaign. I do think, like, I respect him in at least he's making good campaign decisions, I think. He's going on Joe Rogan, he's going on Ben Shapiro, and I think, actually, Andrew Yang's campaign would be and he's going, actually, I'm just looking at the sidebar right now, he's on Fox Business as well. I think, this will be a good measure to see how powerful the alternative media is, because again, even though I don't like him, I don't want him to win, I do think it's a good measure of, is he going the right route? Is he going to be a 1%? Is he going to get 1% of the vote? And when the vote comes, like, that's going to be it? Is he going to stay at 1% and pretty much disappear? Who knows? Or is he going to really take off and become popular? And if he does, that'll be because he's appearing on Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro, and he's going to be on Fox and all that. I think that's I think we'll really find out there, like, how powerful the alternative media is based on how popular he is. At least, like, not to say that they're exactly the same, but at least you can see he's relying on the alternative media for a lot of attention. And will that pay off? We're going to find out. And I do think, at the very least, like, the fact that it is I'm trying to think about this now. When he appears on Ben Shapiro, honestly, it'd probably be in his best interest to be nice, but be, to make it more of a debate than a conversation. I think that would be good. Because, believe me, like, as we've seen, Ben Shapiro, to a lot of people, like, to a lot of the Democratic audience, or to a lot of Democratic voters, Ben Shapiro's a pretty awful guy, they think. And I think it would probably be beneficial for Andrew Yang to come off more as an opponent that is capable of having a civil conversation, more than as someone that's on Ben Shapiro's side. I'm just saying this from a tactics perspective. Because they have a lot to disagree on. If he makes it more of a debate, that'll probably help him. Because again, if you're someone that doesn't like Ben Shapiro, when you see Andrew Yang, more debate issues with him, you're going to start liking Andrew Yang. I think and that might be his point. And I actually think he's probably conscious of that. Circumcision is barbaric. I didn't circumcise my son. It's my son's choice, not mine. I agree with that. Gamers for Yang. 1, it's not a debate. 2, Yang isn't anti-circumcision. 3, their conversation would be about Yang's campaign, not circumcision. Yes, I don't know why they focused on the circumcision thing, and I apologize for just taking them at their word. I figured of all, like, why would they lie about this? Why would they lie about something like this? But of course, again, it was proven that you have to check absolutely everything. Apparently, they will lie about, like, they will lie about stuff like this. And that is my fault for not looking. Apparently The Hill would even lie, or would even get this stuff wrong, whether intentionally or not. Probably intentionally, because The Hill is pretty establishment. One, it's not a debate. Yeah, they're commenting just on the thing itself. And yes, Yang isn't anti-circumcision. He's more just let the family know. I believe I said that in my video. I'm pretty sure I did. As I see it, Ben Shapiro want to debate Democrats, and he is one of the few who accept it. Yes, they both seem to be really wanting to get media attention and debate, and Ben Shapiro is always looking for people to debate. And Andrew Yang seems to be like, yeah, he'll do it in the Sunday special or whatever. So I think that's good for both of them. I think that benefits both their audiences. Shapiro wants to talk about Yang and wants to talk to Yang about politics. Yang wants to get his platform out there. The headline is about circumcision just to make Yang look marginal. I think that is true. As I say, I didn't heart that. I don't know why I didn't, but I will do that now. I think that is a good perception of what's happening. I am so glad because we need Yang to get as much publicity as possible. I promoted him. It's not paid. I've been pushing it for sure. He's a breath of fresh air. Again, half agree, half disagree. I'm not a fan of his policies. I don't want him to be president. I don't think UBI will be good for America. I think it'll be bad. And I'm actually sending an article out to a few different areas now to see if they'll accept it or not. Daily Caller rejected it, or at least they never responded, so I assume they rejected it. But I'll send that out there because I have a comment on UBI I have an article on UBI that's not about whether it'll work or not, but even if it does work, it's not something you want to support if you care about free speech. But we'll see when the article comes out whether people agree with it or disagree with that. We'll see. He is good at creating social proof by just going everywhere. Yang's freedom dividend, UBI, will be a big part of the conversation. Shapiro doesn't think UBI is necessary at the moment, whereas Yang advocates implementing it ASAP. That is what I'm most interested in watching. From what I've told, it's not even that Ben Shapiro doesn't think it's necessary so much as Shapiro doesn't want it to, he thinks it's bad policy. As far as I can tell, I haven't watched much Ben Shapiro lately, but I used to watch a lot of his stuff. I watched the first 150 episodes, or listened to rather, the first 150 episodes of his show. And he seems like someone that would be pretty anti-UPI, but that'll be interesting to see. I believe that's coming out pretty soon. It's a Sunday special, so who knows when that'll come out. But I'll be sure to maybe leave a comment on this video and what I'm going through the comments on now, based on what actually happened, to clarify: was I right? Was I wrong? How far off was I? Was this video totally false, or was I at least mostly right? I have a feeling economics is going to be sneakily brought into it, perhaps through a snide insult that will derail the conversation. It's Ben Shapiro. Economics will be brought up. They're talking about UBI. Economics will definitely be a part of it. And I imagine I'll probably side with Ben Shapiro more than I side with Andrew Yang when it comes to economics. Dump that Trump for Yang Gang in 2020. No, I'm still Trump. I'm still pro. It's not even that I'm pro-Trump. It's as Ben Shapiro said, sometimes Trump, and it's that Trump is the least objectionable candidate so far, and getting rid of the regulations, that to me, that's a big plus. That's something I'm still enjoying. The getting rid of the regulations part, I can tolerate a lot of the rest. The spending's bugging me. I will say that. But the regulation part, I think I value a lot more than most people. Or the deregulation part, I think I value more than most of his followers. Shapiro stated, and the fact that, of course, he posted, just this morning, he posted good morning, and people got so mad. That's hilarious to see. Anyone that gets mad at Trump's tweets deserves to be mad. That's my thing. It's if you're getting mad at someone, at a president's tweets, and you're not getting mad at, of course, the absolute war crimes of the past presidents, then you've got an issue. I circumcised my boys when they were babies, but I kind of wish I never did. They should decide if they want the foreskin removed when they're older. Sure. I'm fine with that. Again, for my thing, it's all just personal choice. It's that's what I'm for. Shapiro stated explicitly on his podcast that this will be an interview with Andrew Yang for his Sunday special, not his debate. Yes, I believe the podcast came out after this. I believe so. At least I checked his podcast, and I didn't, when I went to record this, and I didn't see it at the time. But yeah, it will be for his Sunday special. My support is totally organic. Watch the South by Southwest talk. Was that an Andrew Yang one? I'll have to look into that. While your pragmatic analysis of this entire situation is very good, I want you to be pro-Yang, but despite not being pro-Yang, I'm subscribing to you. Your feet are planted in reality. I appreciate that. I don't know why I didn't heart. I read that earlier. I don't know why I didn't heart it, but I will. But yeah, it was pretty much a pragmatic analysis, not a moral analysis. And that's the thing. I am anti-Yang at this moment because I'm anti-UBI, but I'm still open to being convinced. That's the thing. I'm open to being convinced. And again, I say, I am aware that even though I'm a very tiny channel, that by making videos about Yang, I am promoting him in the sense of I'm increasing the hashtag. I'm getting him more popular, and I'm not entirely against that. I don't think that's an issue. Because again, I'm thinking like Andrew Yang versus Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, pretty much every other terrible candidate out there. Like, I'm thinking of all these other easily corrupt, like just absolutely corrupt Democratic candidates, and it's like, yeah, I have a big dislike for them. I very much dislike them because they seem so two-faced and corrupt and awful, and all of their policies are terrible, and they're so immersed in identity politics. And then, at least with Yang, it is like Yang looks pretty good by comparison. Even though, again, he's not my ideal candidate. He's not a candidate I will support, but he looks pretty good compared to the opposition. Obama, Facebook president; Trump, Twitter president; Yang, podcast president. That's interesting. That's I don't know if he's wrong. He might actually be pretty accurate there. Was Obama a Facebook president? I wasn't aware of that. All I know is Trump was the Twitter president and is the Twitter president. I didn't know Obama was a Facebook president. It's a form of child abuse and genital mutilation. It should be discussed. Yes, anything should be discussed. Absolutely everything, including this. And I think, like as I said earlier, it's something that's not discussed often, and it's not something that's really brought up at all. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because people don't like to talk about genitals, but it's something that, yeah, I wish people talked about it more. Because especially I was actually surprised to see the amount of like botched circumcisions. Again, the one I actually listened to a conversation with a guy that was part of that, and it was like pretty much permanently sterilized. And it's like, wow, that's messed up. So yeah, anyone that wants to discuss the pros and cons to it, of course, do it. That's fake news. The only reason circumcision was even brought up was because someone asked him about his stance on circumcision. They were talking about UBI and his policies. Yes, as I learned later, and I'm sorry for getting that wrong. Turns out I thought on something like this that wasn't incredibly political, I thought I could just trust political in the sense of like immigration or any major topic. I thought I could trust the Hill of all places to report on it accurately. I guess not. The idea of debate is great, but circumcision is not a national issue. It's a family issue, so how about climate change and UBI debate instead? Yes, it does seem to be a climate change and UBI instead. I kind of disagree. Like, circumcision is not a national issue. It's a family issue. Yes, but like he's not wrong. But that doesn't mean it's not important. I think it's a very important issue. And of course, like the more talk about pretty much every issue, the more talk about it, the better. A lot of people care about genital mutilation. It's an important topic. I think he was the one saying, like, I interpreted this comment to say, to be in opposition to me. Like, a lot of people care about it, and implying that I didn't think a lot of people did, or it's not important. I don't think a lot of people do care about the issue, just in the sense of I rarely hear about it. But that doesn't make it unimportant, is what I was trying to say. Like, just because not a lot of people talk about it, not a lot of people care about it, does not make it important. Like, I'm a libertarian. There's tons of issues that I think are important that a lot of people don't think are, that not a lot of people care about or talk about. It's like, that's two different measurements there. To say something is not discussed much or not too many people talk about is not to say it's unimportant. I just wanted to clarify that. Ben Shapiro's Sunday special is not a debate, by the way. Yes, I understand that now. I think Yang Gang is organic, and yeah, after seeing all this, I actually know that guy. Yes, I that's why I learned it. I know that comment, the commenter, and yeah, I think it is. After seeing this, I think it is pretty much organic. Like, I've seen a little bit of stuff that seems to be that are definitely like just spamming out hashtags that seem to be either people doing nothing better than spamming out hashtags or people that are bots. And like, let's be honest. There are lots of, like, when I go on Twitter, there are loads of, like, right-wing, pro-Trump people, or accounts that are obviously bots. Same thing with Hillary, when Hillary was running. There was a lot of, like, pro-Hillary accounts that are just bots. And I think it's important to keep in mind that while they do exist, that doesn't mean everyone you disagree with is a bot. If you know what you're looking for, they're very easy to point out. And I will say, I have not found a single comment so far that is a bot. Lamau, I love how the media tried to twist this. They're not just debating circumcision laws. They're going to talk about Andrew's platform. Good. Genital mutilation should be banned. My body, my choice. I don't know if circumcision... I probably would. I don't know if I would support a ban on it. I probably would support it. That's the thing. I haven't read enough into the trauma of it. Like, does it actually traumatize the baby? I would have to read into that. If it does traumatize the baby, then I would support a ban. As far as I know, it doesn't, but that is something I will literally, like, as soon as I'm done recording this, I will write that down and remember to look into that later. That's my essential position. Like, if it does actually, like, cause emotional, like, trauma, because I know there are tons of things that do that. Like, I'm putting your kids in daycare. I learned for something. It's either 10 or 20 hours, so I'm going to say 20 just to be safe. Something like 20 hours a week, kids in daycare, like, it has the same effect on them as abandonment by the parents, because they're like, holy crap, why is my mother gone so often? Why are my parents, why is there someone that cares about me gone so often? Because, like, let's be honest, someone that's running a daycare with 10 kids cannot give as much attention to a kid as an individual person taking care of that child. So things like that, I'll have to look on the actual, like, trauma it does. If it doesn't have any, like, lasting trauma, then I don't know if I'd be against the ban, but I would at least be for the pointing out that, yeah, it's not like there's there's not really any good benefits to it. Or at the very least, yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'll get back to you on that. Maybe one of these days I'll do a video on it, with the research that I find. I can't even read that, so I'm going to skip that comment. You're right, he's not anti-circumcision. Andrew is amazing. And I'm a libertarian and love Andrew Yang. I'll absolutely die inside if he doesn't gain popularity and win this election. I want him in office now. I've never voted Democrat before in my life until now. He's my president. Again, as a libertarian, I'm not pro Andrew Yang. I would call it the lesser evil of all the Democratic candidates so far. Save the Wang, vote for Yang. That is a fantastic thing that he should. That is a fantastic motto that he should run on. Save the Wang, vote for Yang. Check your metrics. I bet most of your Yang views come from recommended and not search. People watch a few Yang videos and then get recommended your video. That's what happened with me. I watched the Red Elephants video on him, then Timcast's video on him, and now this video was in my recommended. So you know what? I'm going to do that right now. I have my cell phone here. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to look at the metrics, because if you don't know, like, YouTube, when it comes to putting out metrics, it takes them like 3 days. Or 2 days, I believe, to get decent metrics on where exactly things are coming from. Geez, 3 comments since I made three comments since I started recording this. This is insane. But I'm actually gonna look at this right now. Discovery, browse features 42.9%, YouTube search 41.8%, external 7.8%, director unknown 2.4%. External sources, majority is Google. Then like 53% Google, then Facebook at 6%, then DuckDuckGo, and all this other stuff. Facebook Messenger, that's interesting. But top usage search terms, Andrew Yang, Ben Shapiro, all that stuff. Top video suggesting this video. That's not important. Top video suggesting this video is the video I'm talking about right now. YouTube's interesting. But I will point out, browse features, 42.9%. Is browse features just recommendations? I think it is. But YouTube search is 41.8%. So there are a lot of people searching for this. I will point that out. So, yeah, I'm not too good at reading the metrics, but I think that's what that means. Those that know it, there you go. I gave you the metrics. I'm very excited to see the interview. I agree with many points that both people advocate for, and I'm curious to see how they will mix together and what they will end up agreeing on. I agree. Great video. I think your analysis is right on. I'm looking forward to the interview. I agree. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm voting Andrew Yang to get my 1K. If Trump starts to support UBI, I'll vote Trump. Again, I'm not you're not gonna get your 1K. I'm sorry. That's my issue. Like, it's not gonna work. I don't think it'll work. The numbers seem to be false, and even if it does work, that's a lot of power. Just remember that you're giving the government a lot of power, and who knows? Like, okay, I want to summarize the article I'm posting out. I'm trying to get published quick. And if it doesn't get published, I'll just send it to Being Libertarian, or I'll send it. Not that like, if it's not worthy for them, I'll send it to them. But maybe they'll. But I have a comment. Anyways, I didn't mean to put down them. What was I reading? Yeah, I'm thinking about. I'm very much worried about what's going to happen. Let's say for example, UBI works. Like, just let's say it works. My worry is then, even if it does work, even if it just so happens to work as people say it is, you got to remember that government policy does not always stay the same. It twists and turns, and as you get new agendas or new politicians, and they change it, and they do everything. And I'm just thinking about $1,000 a month to everyone. Like, everyone above the age of 18 is going to get that. You know who's going to get UBI? Nazis. Like, actual far-right people, white supremacists and that. You know who also is going to get UBI? Antifa. And left-wing terrorist organizations, possibly jihadis. And all I'm thinking of is, I'm just thinking of both sides, more on the left, honestly, more on the, because they're the most anti-free speech. But I'm just thinking, like, Okay, white supremacists are going to get UBI. You know what that means? The far left is going to campaign and say, okay, UBI is great, but let's make sure that actual Nazis don't get it. Let's make sure that white supremacists don't get it. Let's say that if you're part of the KKK, you don't get UBI. They're going to push for that, and I think that might get passed. Something along those lines that will essentially restrict UBI to people that aren't, like, legitimately far right. And there's going to be something, like, I don't know exactly how they're going to list it. They might do it by if you're tied to some organization. And the reason they don't do it with current welfare today is because, like, food stamps, you can only spend on food. Social Security, well, the idea is people paid into that for so long, so they're kind of getting their own money back. It's not seen as, like, a direct fund from the government. UBI can be spent on anything. And I'm thinking all you need is a few people, is a little bit of evidence that a few people have spent their money promoting something that is far right, or not even far right, but just what the left calls far right. And which, as we've seen, even Tim Pool is considered far right. And I think it's going to be used to punish that. I think they're going to say, okay, well, we'll modify the legislation. Everyone gets it. That isn't far right. And then you know what happens with far right. Far right applies to pretty much everyone. So that's my worry with UBI, is that it's going to stop being universal rather quickly. And eventually they're going to use it to, they're going to start taking away from people with wrong opinions. And think about how that messes up things. Like, oh, you get $1,000 a month if you behave and you don't have any scary opinions like that. That's what I'm worried about, to be honest, even if it does get implemented. Next comment. The first shot of the second Great Meme War. I'm pretty sure we already had the second Great Meme War, which was the Trump CNN clip of him, like, the wrestling video. I thought that was the second Great Meme War. But maybe that's just a meme war. It's not a great meme war. But yes, I am looking forward to the upcoming meme war, which, I don't know. I'm referring to the upcoming one as the third great meme war, but we will see what happens. Love Yang, keep dropping gems like this. Watch out, Andrew Yang going to go Apostle Paul on them. I can destroy Shapiro on this debate. His fast talking will not work. Well, a bit of a stutter there. I agree this will be great for Yang regardless of the outcome. The fact that his debate convo has a lot of people already talking about it is a good indication. Yes, exactly. Let's say, like, even if Yang looks awful, even if Yang looks, even if Ben Shapiro destroys Andrew Yang, even if that happens, even if that were to actually happen, I think he's going to gain a lot of support, because you know what happens? A lot of people that are Democratic voters are going to look at that. They're not going to like Ben Shapiro, and therefore they're going to support Andrew Yang, even if he, like, in an official sense loses, on whatever they're discussing. Because again, I know it's an interview, but they're going to debate. Like, let's be honest, even though it's not a formal debate, it's an interview between two people that disagree on a lot, and one of them is Ben Shapiro. It's going to be some kind of, they're going to debate on some things. So even if he comes off bad, in the sense that even if Ben Shapiro can prove that UBI doesn't work, I think the Democratic parties are, like, a lot of the voters. I think a lot of the potential voters are going to look at him positively for taking on Ben Shapiro. He may be my second choice, but I absolutely love him, and I hope this debate help him get his name out there. English. I wonder if I agree with that. Is he my second choice? I don't know. Because that's the thing, I don't like... Trump's my favorite candidate right now, and I still don't like him on a lot of things. There are a lot of things he does that bugs me, like signing the crazy spending bills and that. And, yeah, I don't know if he's my second favorite. I can't think of anyone that I like better than Andrew Yang besides Trump as a candidate. I mean, it'll probably be whoever the Libertarians put out that hopefully isn't Gary Johnson. I'd probably support Gary Johnson over Yang, but he's not going to run again. So we'll see. We'll see. Fighting facts against facts, the whole world will go up in flames. FR, I don't know what that means because I'm bad at the internet lingo. This is for real? This is a waste of time and a stupid debate topic. It's pretty ridiculous this issue has become. I want to see them debate money and math. Well, I mean, even if they did support, even if the debate was really about circumcision, I'd still support that. Like, good. Like, it's glad that they're bringing up stuff like that. I do hope that it wasn't entirely fake news and they will touch on that. I think that'd be interesting just to get the conversation out there. So yeah, I disagree that this is a stupid debate topic, but I would also like to see them talk about UBI. I think that'd be, like, I want to see Ben Shapiro and Andrew Yang talk about UBI. Already a straw man in the title, debate. Yes, I'm sorry, I took that from The Hill, and I got it wrong. Even though, like, again, it's not a formal debate, but I do think it will. The reason I didn't correct it is because it will end up being a debate. Let's be honest. It's Ben Shapiro with a Democratic candidate. It will end up being some kind of a debate at some point. Yang was on the U.S. national debate team when he was young, gonna destroy Shapiro. Well, Shapiro also. I do think Shapiro is a good debater because he is a very intelligent person. Like, I think that's the thing. I disagree with, like, I respect him and I think he's a smart person and I think he's doing good for the world. But I do have quite a bit of issues with Ben Shapiro, especially when it comes to everyone I don't like or everyone that doesn't agree with me, like, is anti-Semitic, calling all these people anti-Semitic, and I'm pretty sure they're not anti-Semitic. When he does that, I think what did he call Ron Paul? He called him a racist or an anti-Semite or something. Or he called Ron Paul anti-Jew or something like that because he opposed foreign aid to Israel, and it's stuff like that that bugs me with Ben Shapiro. But I do generally like Shapiro. Ben just fart from his mouth, not actually have logic when he talks, and Yang is a very logical politician. I disagree with that statement 95%. These two are going to have a hell of a fight. I agree. I do think even if it starts out as a civil conversation, it will be a debate in the end. One of them will disagree. Andrew Yang will say something that Ben Shapiro disagrees with, and it will be some kind of a debate. That's what will happen. Yang knows he's going to have Shapiro cornered because Shapiro has miscalculated his opponent already. Shapiro thinks he's going to argue pro-circumcision against someone who's anti-circumcision, but Yang knows he's not. He's going in arguing pro-choice and for doctors who educate patients, not pressure them. Shapiro will not lose because he's pro or anti-circumcision. He will lose because he's overly passionate about one side or the other, which is something Shapiro is known to do. He'd be passionate and overly enthusiastic. Yang is likely better that once cornered, Shapiro will change to UPI and the economy as a disparate exit strategy that will put Yang right where he really wants to be talking about his main platforms. Oh, change to UPI in terms of change the topic. Yeah, probably. I do think, like, even though I like Ben Shapiro more than Andrew Yang, I do think on the circumcision issue, Andrew Yang is probably more right than Ben Shapiro. Because you can tell Ben Shapiro is probably, being Jewish, Ben Shapiro is probably quite devoted to this topic as a religious position. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I haven't watched. I got to be honest. I haven't. I'm just responding to comments. I haven't watched the most recent thing on it, and it's not out yet. The actual conversation isn't out yet at this time of recording. But yeah, I do think actually Andrew Yang will probably win on the issue because, like this guy said, Andrew Yang is just like, let's have a conversation about it. Let's make sure parents know the facts about it, and they don't get a lot of the misconceptions behind it. Let's get these Yang Bucks boys. Not much to comment there. Yang has surprisingly been getting some positive run on Fox News. Not sure what the angles are. Tucker Carlson especially showed great admiration for him, which was interesting. I think Yang's strong suit is that even if you disagree with his politics, he has well-conceived answers to every question where he receives, and his responses always seem to be about the betterment of the people. I like him in what he says. Andrew Yang, I think he does have that as a positive. I listened to his Joe Rogan episode, and he does come across very, like, a nice dude. Like, he's not like a Joe Biden where you look at him and you're just like, like, you get, like, a sinister, creepy factor from him. Andrew Yang, like, again, as much as I disagree with UBI, as much as I disagree with most of his, especially gun control, Andrew Yang does seem to be very pro-gun control, and I am very much against that. At the very least, he does seem to be, he's got the persona right. He comes across as a very nice dude. If anything, I think Trump might destroy him when it comes to, Trump is just very aggressive and knows, like, the perfect comments during debates, whereas Andrew Yang, I think, will be much more, he's just not going to be a good debater when it comes to Trump. And I did see Fox News has been talking about him more, and I wonder, and I saw Fox News added Donna Brazile as well. Like, I saw Fox News, like, signed Donna Brazile on, signed her on as, like, a contributor. Like, that's interesting. It's just interesting to see when people flip-flop, like the establishment people kind of jump back and forth like that, but who knows, maybe it's completely innocent. But yeah, I think I think a lot of the right is probably pro Yang. Like I'm talking about, like, Fox News, Ben Shapiro, more the like the public figures, not the voter base. They seem to be more not pro Yang, but more in the sense that I am, at least, like, let's talk about this guy, let's bring him on because at the very least he's not like a rabid crazy leftist. He's just wrong on the issues, in my opinion. What do with all the foreskins? I heard they sewed them together to make more Republicans. Yeah. Andrew Yang is on a suicide mission. Actually, like, if he sticks to the circumcision issue, I think he might actually win. But when it comes to UBI, Ben Shapiro will win. Like, let's be honest. Andrew Yang makes math cool. Does he? I wasn't paid to do this. Yeah, I think that guy's a real commenter. If they debate, this will be one of the few times you see Ben Shapiro lose. The other is when he faced off against Sam Harris. I haven't seen him face off against Sam Harris, but I do think Ben Shapiro will lose. Like, this will, again, I agree with his comments completely, which is why I hearted it earlier. This will be one of the few times you see Ben Shapiro lose. I actually want to see what the reply is. Shapiro only sometimes wins against first-year college students. Nope, like, I think Ben Shapiro is a very good debater. It's just that he does the whole Ben Shapiro destroys leftist college students stuff like that. Like, he does that stuff. Trust Yang, protect your Wang. Another good motto. That shows Yang is competent. I'm voting Yang to want parents to be informed of pros and cons, not anti-anything. Yes. That is correct. He and Ben have been on... I've seen this person comment like 6 times. He and Ben have been on panel discussions with Musk and such. Really? I'll have to look that up. Interesting. The Asian is like, dude, we are not packing. Why cut more? Ben is like, well, mine is kosher and no... Some of these comments. I do think it's funny that the alt-right seems to really like Andrew Yang, and I'm not using that as like a guilt by association thing. Again, it's like that's not a negative on Andrew Yang. The alt-right seem to like him, which plays into the whole like the yellow fever parody about how the alt-right seems really obsessed with Asians. Like, it's hilarious. They're like, yes, we want a white ethno state, but Asians are also really great. It's hilarious. Shapiro actually made it clear that he finds Yang to be one of the more interesting candidates on his podcast. Yes, interesting is a way I would describe Yang and his audience. Interesting is a good word for it. That must have missed you completely. And Shapiro doesn't feel supremely strong about circumcision compared to most other policy issues he holds. This is less Shapiro trying to jab Yang and more Shapiro wanting to reach out to who he thinks is way more interesting than run-of-the-mill progressive dribble like Kamala Harris or AOC. Shapiro also expressed pleasant surprise at the fact that Yang was honest and thoughtful enough to put all of his policy positions on his website, including policy positions on policies no one really cared about. I do think that's a good thing. Like, good for him. I think that's actually a, I don't know if that's a positive or negative just in terms of tactics, to put all of your positions. Because then again, that means more people will find things to have an issue with. But then again, there's also the aspect where when you're a politician, you generally want to run on a bunch of issues and not you want to focus on 1 or 2 major issues, but you do want to like talk about a lot of smaller issues because that makes like people say, well, I like you here, I like you here, I like you here, like I like you in these 6 spots, and even though I disagree with you on these spots, like I value these spots more, that kind of thing. The Jew fears the samurai. That's hilarious. You've obviously never seen his show. It's not a debate. I've seen the Sunday show. Again, I didn't even know it was the Sunday show because I just relied on the Hill article, which I haven't even checked. For all I know, at the time I read it, it didn't mention anything about a Sunday special. So all I saw was they referenced like some tweets that said like, yeah, let's discuss and let's debate. He will discuss many of Yang's proposed policies. It should be good information, good and informative discussion. I do like, again, I love that this is happening. That's why I made a video on it, because I love that this is happening. I want people to watch it. I hope Yang doesn't, and he has some interesting ideas. I don't think anyone really cares about the circumcision topic as much as you think. That topic will always be between the parents and doctors. Like, this thing, I'm getting it from both sides. I don't think that many people care about it, but there are people that really, really are super passionate about it. That's the thing. And that, for that reason, like I think it is an important topic to be discussed. It's not my most important issue. It's not like it's probably not even the top 20 of. It's probably not even the top 50 of issues I care about. But it is something that, like, yeah, there is a select few of people that really do care about it. And sure, like I think it should be talked about. I think it should be discussed. Yang Gang 2020. Andrew Yang is gonna wreck. These are all the comments now. It's just gonna be small stuff like this that made it to the bottom. Yang Gang for America. See, this is stuff like, I'm not saying these are bots, but I think this is what made me originally like suspect it, because there's a lot of people that just post hashtag Yang Gang, which is what happened back in the 2016 election. Like, I saw a lot of people just comment like hashtag MAGA. That's the only comment. I get a ton of those, and YouTube would throw them under spam, a lot of them, and I couldn't tell if that because YouTube knew they were bots or because YouTube thought they were bots like I did, but they had no way of knowing. But I found some of them, and it's like, some of these things, they did nothing but just put out hashtags on comments. I think those people are probably bots, or they're just really sad people that have nothing better to do that just post hashtags on YouTube videos. That's what I meant by that. Like, I've seen a few people put out hashtags. Everyone does it. Every political candidate does it. There seems to be lots of people that just go out and spam hashtags. Or at least not every political candidate, but the smart ones just have like bots that put out and spam hashtags. That is in no way saying that most of it is inorganic or fake or anything. Like, that's what people do with the Russian bot stuff, where it's like, oh, were there Russian bots? And there probably were Russian bots. There were probably, like, I think we even proved that there were certain Russian bots, and it's like, okay, were there, like, I think there were like 1,000 of them, and 1,000 is nothing. It's something like, what was I listening to? Someone went through it, and it was like, yeah, it was like 0.004% of all interaction was with, of all political interaction was with the bots, and it's like, sure, there might be some, and there probably are some, but 0.004% is nowhere close to 100%. Just keeping that in mind. That's the thing. It's like, you can separate that. It's like, do bots exist and push political agendas? Yes. Does that mean that the movement is inorganic? No. I think it is, for the most part, organic. I was just wondering, because when I put out my first video, I got most of the comments were just like, #Yang. It's like, huh. And that's something, and I saw a lot of other people bringing it up. It's like, yeah, seems to be a lot of that stuff. But there's also, like, as you've seen, we are 40 minutes in, and there's a lot of organic comments there. So I'm saying apply that to everything. I'm including Trump, including, like, and any other, like, left-wing candidates in that. I'm pretty sure the people that just spam. I'm reading all the Yang stuff and missing that in my mind. But I think a lot of people that, like, it's either got to be one or the other. Either there are no bots, or everyone is a bot kind of thing. Like, you've seen the whole, like, oh, look, like, here's someone that has a right-wing opinion. They must be a Russian bot. Like, here's someone with a, not even right-wing, but at least a centrist opinion. You must be a Russian bot. Crap like that. It's like, no. It seems that the reality is, with most of the as with Trump, as with Andrew Yang, as I'm finding out, is there are bots, and they're like 0.04% of all the activity. So it's like, yeah, like, believe me, I'm not trying to dismiss everyone. I'm not trying to say, like, oh, there's one bot, therefore you're all bots. No, I'm saying that there's like 6, and or in the case of politics, there might be 6,000. But again, what is 6,000 on the internet? It's nothing. Especially when a lot of these, like, as you can see, a lot of the bots, like, just follow one another. Because, like, again, my Twitter account has 1,500 followers, and it gets like 100 impressions. So either I'm being shadow banned, which probably isn't true. I don't think I'm being shadow banned, or most of the people following me are just bots that want to follow back. I don't think that's the case. But I mean, enough with the bots discussion, because I know people are going to misconstrue what I'm saying, and it's like, no, I'm not. I'm saying there are bots, and there's like a few thousand of them, which is nothing. It's like, again, 0.004% or 0.04%, something like that. Either way, it's next to nothing. And ergo, I don't think any of these political movements are inorganic. Yang Gang for intactivists. Intactivists is what, I think that's what the anti-circumcision people call themselves, I think. Oh, I skipped a few here, didn't I? Clash of the Foreskins. Circumcision is forced onto men. Circumcised babies grow up to be men who were abused in their private parts. Again, that's the thing. I have to really look at the, I don't see what the comments say. I really got to look at the, like, the psychological effects. Yeah. Like, I really have to look at and see if that traumatizes people, because at the very least, I'm not pro, but I don't know if I'm neutral or if I'm anti, is what I'm going to say. Yang Gang don't want you to win. Wang Gang. This is what they're going to talk about. Who thought this was a good idea? Let's grow up. Yeah, apparently they're going to talk about other things, as I learned from the Hill article. As I learned, apparently, like, don't trust the Hill, as I learned. They got that messed up. I think they should talk about it. But, of course, it seems they're going to talk about other stuff as well, which is also good. I want to hear that as well. My voice is starting to hurt. It's obvious Ben Shapiro is going to defend it. He's a religious man, so there's little chance he will accept the bodily autonomy argument. I certainly don't like Ben Shapiro. Many of his political and social views arguments are influenced by his religious upbringing, not by facts or research. He's quick and opinionated about things he doesn't really know about. See, I give that a like because I thought it was an okay comment. Like, I disagree with it. I do think Ben Shapiro, for the most part, like, I think most of his stuff is pretty logical. Most of his stuff is pretty on point. It's just that every so often he gets really, like, especially when they bring up the Israel stuff. It's like, I'm not anti-Israel, but I know the people that are like, the libertarians who are like, we don't want foreign aid, and that applies to everyone, including Israel. And Ben Shapiro's like, you're anti-Semitic. That's the dumb stuff I don't like. But then I have to remember, like, it's obvious Ben Shapiro's going to defend it. I think so. He's religious, therefore he's going to defend it. But I do remember back to that comment earlier that said, like, oh, he's actually, he's not as passionate about this as he is with other things. So, good. It'll be interesting to watch. See, more hashtag stuff like that. Make foreskin great again. I have heard Shapiro's view, and as an Orthodox Jew, he is very pro. And Yang, coming from a non-genital cutting culture, is certainly against genital cutting, but not to the point of banning it. Yeah, that's probably my position. I think Ben low-key likes Andrew and wants to give him a leg up. See, I wonder about that, because it's like, I don't think he likes Andrew Yang, but at the very least, again, Andrew Yang's not a politician. He's a he seems to be an entrepreneur, kind of like Trump. That just wants to run on the issues. I don't think he's corrupt. I don't think he's stupid. I just think he's wrong, which automatically, not corrupt and not stupid. That puts him way above the vast majority of the other candidates running for the Democratic Party so far. So it's like, yeah, I have so many mixed feelings about Andrew Yang. I don't know what they are, because it's like, I mean, I wouldn't vote for him. I don't think he'll really ever get my vote. Because again, if it comes up to Trump versus Andrew Yang, I'll have to vote for Trump. But I do think it's interesting. Like I don't mind the fact that he is getting good coverage, and I want him to be in the debates. I want him to be successful, and I want him to at least beat out all the other corrupt candidates, or all of the corrupt candidates. I hope Ben Shapiro doesn't destroy him with facts. Yes. So hype, Yang 2020, polls are BS. And that's like, and polls, you can, when it comes to polls, it's like, you got to look at, for one, you got to look at which poll, because some are reliable and others aren't. As we've seen in the 2016 election, most of the polls, like the local polls, were pretty accurate. It was the ones that the media were touting that were just wrong, like outright wrong. So yeah, it's like polls. Actually, the polls for the most recent midterms were accurate. So it's like, yeah, some polls are accurate, some polls aren't. Don't take them as truth. Like, view them skeptically, but don't dismiss them altogether. See more just Yang Gang hashtags. This is going to be like Machine Gun Kelly versus Eminem. When people heard MGK come out with something new, they thought it was great until a vet who actually had a talent had put him in his place. R.I.P. Yang, you fooled me for minutes. UBI is a mumble rap of politics. LOL. I'm actually going to see what the comments are on this, because yeah, I don't think UBI is going to work, and I've already given my reasons for that. Of course, but based on hours of listening to them both, Shapiro has a significant advantage. The only advantage Yang has is that he'll gain recognition, and Shapiro is already pretty high on top of his game. There will not be a KO. Both sides will use clips and paraphrasing, and Yang will get more overall out of this from an immediate standpoint. Yeah, I think they'll both get stuff out of it, but Andrew Yang's going to benefit more, which is why I think this whole thing's going to happen, because they're both going to benefit from it no matter what happens. However, if we were to score this based on fact versus falsifications, objective versus subjective, and pragmatic versus pipe dream theory, Shapiro will come out there clear victor strictly from a debate standpoint. Either way, it will be fun to hear them debate. I'm curious to see how the mediator plays a part in this. I hope they pick someone non-biased. Yeah, again, it's an interview, so it's not going to be... Yeah, I take it Shapiro is the interviewer. Hopefully Ben can talk some sense in the Yang. He seems like he's a good person, is clearly relatively intelligent. So it does seem like, yeah, it's going to be, like it's an interview. It's not going to be a one-on-one debate like that. It will be good, Yang Ascents. All in, I apologize. I haven't watched this video for a few days. As far as the circumcision goes, I disagree with Shapiro's circumcision stance, but I still highly doubt he'll win. Oh, I see what they're saying. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. For some reason, they have a certain degree of overlapping audiences. It doesn't make much sense because I don't think they agree on many issues, but that's what 4chan and Joe Rogan can do. I suspect I don't think 4chan likes Shapiro very much, or the people on 4chan. I don't think they like Shapiro very much. Joe Rogan, their audience, they're probably quite divided on Shapiro. There are probably a lot of Shapiro and Rogan fans like me, and there are probably a lot of Rogan fans not too big fan of Shapiro. I suspect Shapiro will grill him on his platform, but I suspect it will remain a fairly civilized discussion, and Yang will get a chance to put his ideas out. I think Yang is very smart, though. He knows he has to reach different groups to start making an impact on the Democratic race. Yes. I pretty much agree with exactly what that guy said there. WTF, there are a million things would be interesting to watch Yang talk to Shapiro about, but this is not one of them. UBI, the role of government and economics, the role of wages and feeding society, left and right views of how to promote competition in the marketplace, whether left and right libertarianism is better than for entrepreneurship. Hint, Andrew went on all of these topics. This is the least interesting thing they could talk about. I actually disagree, because it's not even that I want Andrew Yang and Ben Shapiro to talk about it. I just want, I like it anytime someone talks about the circumcision debate, because you never hear it. So it'd be nice to see. But I think Shapiro would win on probably most of these, except the circumcision one. Looking forward to it. It's the only thing. Hey, I got an NPC. I'm looking forward to it. It's the only thing I don't like about Yang. I like them both, but I'm strong pro cut. Girls hate because yeah, I'm against him there. I hope this is to get Andrew Yang popularity up. Probably is, because debating on circumcision is beyond retarded. I disagree. Or I disagree. I agree with the first half, disagree with the second half. Yang 2020, not mutilating. What is... Oh, I'm at the end of the comments. That's why it's rolling up. What is that a debate about? Don't violate the bodily integrity of a baby. However, a grown-ass man wants to be circumcised, then go ahead. It's not rocket science. I agree and disagree. I agree in some sense with what he's saying, but I also I don't like the people that said it's not a debate. It's not a debate. And it's like, well, yes, it is. Like, I hate to say it, even though the thing seems obvious. Like, there's so many positions that I think just seem obvious, and I can't believe that they're up for debate. But they are up for debate, and I don't want to use the "it's not up for debate" term. It's like, everything's up for debate. Even the freaking flat Earth theory is still up for debate. I'm not gonna I think it's dumb that it's up for debate, but yeah, there is still stuff to debate. Like that's if that makes sense. What I'm saying. Jeez, why I'm at the very end. Why I want to scroll back up. We want $12K extra per year to even the playing field in USA. All rich American companies must take care of the nation. It will cut crime. I disagree. Ben Shapiro is officially... I'm not saying that. If he's okay with male genital mutilation. I want to see what the comments say to that, actually. He's a Jew. What do you think his stance is? Why are people surprised at this still? I'm a Jew, and I'd like to think Shapiro prefers logic and reason to win over in debates, but not appeal to tradition or religion. Then again, his initial to be asked. Yeah, that's the thing. It is a... circumcision is a religious tradition, so that's where I think Ben Shapiro will lose, because he'll probably rely on that, and he's probably attached to it for that reason. But I keep seeing different things in the comment section. Some people say he's really strongly opinionated about this, which is probably true, and there's other people saying no, he's not really as passionate about this as he is on other things. So that's interesting. It'll be interesting to watch. I'm recording this on a Sunday. It hasn't come out yet at the time of this recording, but I'll check, and it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I like these responding to comments things. That's if I ever got to the point where all of my videos got comments like this, or most of my videos, if I ever got to the point where I got loads of comments like this, I would probably do a second channel and just upload a video on the first channel, and then the second channel just do going through the comments. That would be fun, just to go through them one by one. Because I enjoy listening when people just do live streams, or even then not live streams, but when people just read comments and stuff like that, and that would be fun to do. But yeah, and I know this video, I don't know if it was this video, because I had a few other relatively successful videos lately, but I got a bunch of new subscribers. So again, thank you for watching. If for some reason you're a new subscriber and you made it all the way to this end, good for you, I guess. Congratulations. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Subscribe button really helps. I really appreciate everyone that took the time to hit subscribe. Even the like button that bumps up the video in the algorithm. But then again, this is just a reading your comments video. So it's of all the important videos out there, this one's more of I want to do it for fun, not well, I don't know what else, because I just enjoy doing these. And I feel kind of obligated to do them, even though I know they're not good things to watch. I enjoy watching this stuff, but I know most people don't. But I do have, just because I feel obligated to, in a sense. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed, subscribe for more, for the 6th time I've said that in the last minute. And thanks for watching.